Now to our Road to the White House coverage on KSFY News at 5. Former Housing and Urban Development Secretary Julian Castro says as president, he would be ready to take action to break what he calls the legislative gridlock in Washington. Castro is spending this weekend crisscrossing Iowa to meet and talk with voters. KSFY News reporter Brian Allen caught up with him in Denison, Iowa.
The Road to the Iowa caucus takes candidates to a lot of different restaurants in a lot of smaller towns. Today the restaurant was Kronk's in Denison, Iowa, and the candidate was Democrat Julian Castro.
And I look forward to talking to people and getting their ideas, listening to them, and also talking to them about my vision for the future of the country.
It was an intimate setting, Castro and a handful of community leaders discussing gridlock in Washington, immigration, the future of education, and the controversial so-called Green New Deal, which would move the U.S. further away from traditional fossil fuels and much closer to renewable resources like solar and wind.
I believe that we can do something like that. What that looks like at the end of the day, when it goes through a congressional process, you're always going to have some compromises that happen.
Castro told me it is one of his goals in this campaign to make the U.S. a nation of big ideas again, something he says is not happening right now.
I want to give people something to believe in, to stand for, not just something to stand against. I believe that we should be the smartest, the healthiest, the fairest, and the most prosperous nation on earth in the 21st century.
Julian Castro's political pedigree includes serving time as the mayor of San Antonio, Texas, and serving as the Housing and Urban Development Secretary in the Obama administration. But outside of Washington, his name is not well known. That is one of the challenges he faces here in Iowa as he overcomes that barrier one meeting and one voter at a time. With the Julian Castro presidential campaign in Denison, Iowa, Brian Allen, KSFY News.
Castro also talked at length with us about the role that Latino voters may play in the 2020 presidential election. Brian will tell us about that next hour on KSFY News at 6.